Our next speaker is Dr. Judy Chou. She's the CEO, president, and board member of Bio Incorporated, which is a clinical stage biotech company in San Francisco, California, and she's also the chairperson of Bio's subsidiary in Taiwan. Before taking on her current roles, she headed the global biotech organization at Bayer Pharmaceuticals, overseeing the development, manufacturing, and distribution of Bayer's biotechnology pipeline, product portfolio, and 2,000-plus employees. She's well recognized by the biomedical industry for her leadership and has received the Most Influential Woman in Business Award in 2018 by the San Francisco Business Times. Currently, Dr. Chou also serves on the board of directors of Akuro Therapeutics Incorporated and California Institute of Regenerative Medicines, and the advisory board member of UC Berkeley Engineering School and Silicon Valley Women in Engineering. Before joining the industry, Dr. Chou was a research faculty member at Harvard University Medical School. Dr. Chou obtained her PhD from Yale University and completed her postdoctoral training at Max Planck Institute in Germany. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Dr. Chou to the podium.
Good morning, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here to share with you my passion to pursue the excellence in novel therapeutics. I started my career, as Tom mentioned, actually on the biology side, doing research at Harvard in academia and trying to progress the research in the much more deeper understanding of the science. Immediately when I joined the industry, I actually was immediately in the tech development side in various different organizations. As I progressed my career, I actually have a growing responsibility through different organizations, having both the responsibility in the research as well as in the tech development, technical operation. So bit by bit, I think I have a little unique experience. And now when I run in an organization, a company, only focus on the novel therapeutics, nothing but the first in class. And that's interesting about, I like to share with you what I see the most important thing is the multidisciplinary collaboration. The interaction between the biology side as well as the technical side, a little bit about the scientific side as well as the engineering side. It's a must to progress the novel therapeutics forward. And this requires a lot of different kind of talent. People need to come in from different backgrounds, putting things together. As we all know, novel therapeutics and pharmaceutical, it's a team sport. It will require multiple people to put together. I recall when I first entered an industry, I saw this cartoon, and it's hopefully that put a smile on your face. This is the interface between biology, technology. This is the interface, sometimes the early stage and late stage, the disconnect. When it's starting, and probably even now, looking back, I can see from this cartoon, the all different figures, not just the two in argument, but also the bystander and having those different thoughts about this crazy things going on. But very important, really, as we step into the novel therapeutics, we need to have the end in our mind in the beginning. And this requires also the partnership, thinking about how to leverage different kind of talents, perspective, and to show that truly the spirit about to bring novel therapeutics forward. This is not a new thing in some sense. As you're looking at the truly groundbreaking the past 40 years, from the recombinant protein to monoclonal antibody conjugate to today's cell gene therapy, the most important element is really this interface, that spark generating from the interface to allow the true breakthrough to come from. So other than that, and how do we bring this whole multidisciplinary collaboration to truly address this whole big bang of the positive force we are facing? From my point of view, this is the time. It's actually never been so exciting now compared to other time. You see from the biology side, the innovative drug coming, and from even just protein therapeutics. Some people may call that as a commodity, But actually, there are a lot of things we can engineer. And from the cell gene therapy side, definitely require a lot of active, proactive thinking. And also, even now, we have more of the tools, AI and the big data, that enabled us to explore something we would not be able to explore in the past. From the engineering side, we're also facing now, with all those exciting things going on, the volatile environment we need to address, how to collect and the whole talent together to generate, make sure all those new modality truly can realize the value. At the same time, we have the environment, as we discussed previously, about the sustainability, the evolving regulatory landscape. Even more important, being the CEO today, I have to point it out about today, the capital market situation is really not totally in favor of the pharma and biotech industry. Hopefully, all of you in this audience, you know, no matter you are in the big organization or the small organization, the impact to us is very big. And this is really putting us together, have to thinking about what we can contribute to bring the novel therapeutics forward. But before I do that, I'd like to take a moment actually addressing the urgency. You may say this is really ongoing for the novel therapeutics. It's always the need. I want to bring you back. Actually, personally, I don't know what drives you to this industry, but for me, was back to even before I went to Yale, I was in medical school. And I see the urgency as an ambitious hematology and oncology department medical doctor. I see the urgency of people dying, and I was not able to provide some solution. I thought I went to medical school to provide a solution to help patients, but this is 30-some years ago. Most of the time, I'm just helping them how to cope with the death. And on top of this urgency about that, fast forward 30-some years ago, 30 years now, I'm very proud about we changed the textbook. Many things in the past we not be able to have a solution, now having a solution. But still building on that urgency, you all know there are still many disease areas we are not able to address. But for today, post-pandemic, the new challenge come, the urgency driving us about disease can come to us or problem can come to us all at once. So we have the immediate response. It's not going back to the laboratory to rethink about the whole system. And the whole population need to address is the global, as we pointed out. It's not just about certain regions' need. At the same time, when all those challenges coming, we see the economy actually driving towards more in favor the innovative and incentivize this whole industry in the more biologics direction. And also the merging of the biology starting to getting mature. The new modality, the cell gene therapy is no longer just a fiction, and that putting all together, and something we may say this is a headwind about the Infection Reduction Act, but it's really driving us to have to focus for those much more mature small molecule. It's going to be obsolete. And then while this truly innovative drug can expand into different indication, become the way to go. And not to mention, we need to address all those equity and addressing all different population of patients, doing our clinical study differently. Putting this together, I cannot help have to focus my talk more on the biologic side. And I'm going to skip totally on the protein engineering side, not because it's not important, but because of the interest of time. But some example, as we kind of doing a little bit reflection, looking at this viral-based gene therapy, simply just in the past 6 to 7 years. This is no longer, as I say, become a fiction, become something that's not happening. And when we look at the CAR T system, also this is combined the cell therapy as well as the gene therapy and putting this whole knowledge all together. And we see we deliver multiple different solutions. And we also all fully aware about patients' benefit that stay alive up to today, enjoy the life, having the family, to be able to have a prolonged time. And then also probably most of us benefit from the messenger RNA. This is also the gene therapy to be able to help us driving toward this direction. Step back and look at the whole program about today. You can see from the top, antibody drug is growing, and protein, peptide, and also the cell therapy, gene therapy, nucleic acid. This is a growing number of innovation, growing number of novel therapeutics we cannot ignore. And then how do we respond on the technical side? Definitely immediately to answer the need from biology side to bring us, we have to provide a very agile manufacturing to create that level of flexibility. I don't know how you define flexibility. For me, when I run an organization, and some of my former colleagues are here, when I say flexibility, I look at the maximized outcome on the most minimum footprint. And when we look at that on this agile flexibility is need to fully maximize the outcome. Why? Because the demand will be very variable. As we are in the pharmaceutical industry, you know, the most correct statement is the forecast is incorrect. This is not just about marketing and sales colleagues, over-ambitious is shooting for high. It happens in my career, at least sometimes the market projection is very far, but the drug really is doing so well, way more than we can handle. And then sometimes it's just a volatility. And then also even making things even more complicated. The breakthrough designation allows certain accelerated approval. And also approval, sometimes manufacturing side is really not ready. And the clinical projection, the marketing projection may not actually agree to each other. Remember that cartoon I just showed you? And then we also have this limited capacity. We won't be able to grow like all of a sudden. And so in my point of view, I'd like to remind you 5 things. I know there's way more things need to address. And also, I'm so sure the upcoming 5 points, some of you, and hopefully most of you, already been working on. But allow me to do that as a reminder. First, I think in order to create those flexibility, we really need to modularize the thing. I know that's hard, but definitely to be able to modularize it, bring down that basic unit minimum footprint to produce the maximized outcome. That is the key. And we need to think hard as engineers, thinking can we deliver that? At the same time, incorporate the single-use technology. It is widely now starting applicable, but still we have a room to grow in that. And combined with the automation, from the very beginning, thinking about what is scale about automation makes sense, not just at the end when it's a blockbuster drug, and then we're starting to thinking about the automation. And then also together as the easy to scale out and scale down. I remember when I first entered this industry, we're thinking about everything is scaling up. But the out and down, this should be the direction we are thinking hard about. And I would drive for a very strong personal point of view about the real-time release need to happen. We are migrating toward that, but it's not quite there yet. I feel like if we can address this 5 particular things, we can address the flexibility much better. And from the facility design point of view, this is also mentioned in the previous presentation. Other than we looking at a scale up and building facility in all different regions, can we actually thinking about this whole Lego concept about modularization? When it's successful, how do we break down to all different units and through the multidisciplinary collaboration to deliver the outcome we need to? And this is a little bit different from we typically thinking about the scale-up modeling. And at the same time now, with the AI and data science, we can actually really start thinking about the true smart manufacturing. Having the feedback system enable us to further fine-tune the manufacturing. And we can only do that combined with the modularization and the flexibility and the data science to enable us. So when I'm talking about that, what scale I'm talking about to be able to deliver that? I like to go into the very controversial space about the point of care. I know this is not the most popular concept in the engineering community. And I saw this concept actually starting from 2019. When you look at the dimension about the migrating towards the point of contact to the whole decentralized and today centralization, putting the time scale on your exit. And I'm using the example more from the cell therapy and particularly like the autologous and allogenic when you're putting that into perspective. Today, we are in the environment about semi-automation. We feel pretty good because those drugs still be able to deliver. But truly, we need to kind of thinking about the patient need. It need to be migrating toward the fully automation. Maybe actually tolerate certain level about this GMP need to be different, as we know. Some of the therapy need to come from, the source need to come from the patient. It cannot be so clean as we control the whole cell line system. And then bit by bit, as we looking at what truly benefit for the patient, what really help the patient benefit from those therapy is to be able to standardize and putting into the globally in all different units, as I say, modularization. And then driving towards this point of care. Maybe this is no longer a big factory, no longer really a mass production. It's break down to the unit about the GMP and box, allowed us to collaborate from the technical side with the biology side, working with the hospital proactively. But why are we doing that? Really, the benefit is the patient. We need to thinking about that is the end goal, and that's what we need to drive towards. So other than answering the need to respond to that, and what kind of like a disruptive technology we need to incorporate to look at the whole innovation. So when I look at this whole thing, definitely as been mentioned about the digitalization. Start in the center, I think digitalization cannot help being without the whole center in this AI and data-driven. And most important thing is improve the therapy. And first, then the data need to come from patient. So first, be able to have a tool to collect those information. That's also we as engineering really need to kind of try to collect. And at the same time, have this on-target marketing. Probably all of you won't disagree with me. Many times we are marketing or actually giving patient not necessarily the drug they need. And none of us individually want to take any drug only benefit for others, but not yourself. So this is what the true goal we need to drive toward. So having a very powerful analysis to look at those data, what is really the demand, what is really the need, that will help us to be able to fine-tune our bioprocess and fine-tune our biomanufacturing much more toward that. Allow us to design also the manufacturing much more with this whole cloud of information and truly drive for the result for us to be not just complain about our marketing or clinical colleagues giving us a wrong forecast, but really deliver what is truly need and also for the need globally. And when we look at this, then dissect even further down, we will need to look at this, how we best benefit and also control the AI and also the robotic, how we combine with that. Collaborate with the biology side to collect the information on this wearable or directed tool, and then looking at the deliverable, which is ultimately the patient see, truly make it helpful and easy to use for patient. The center of that is this data analysis, how we balance the need. Of course, for all the pharma industry, we need to see what is really making the industries can continue to grow. And so this, we cannot help but thinking about this whole stability and to be able to drive for that efficiency and reliability. And in a quick snapshot, you can see there's a high demand. It's not just like yesterday. Today, after pandemic, we starting to have this high demand, also unprecedented case about have this interruption of the workforce. And that introduced making a lot of things even more escalate, become a higher issue, as I mentioned about can we do the real-time release? Can we quickly get the drug out of the vaccine out to help patient? And also the supply and together with the device, so as also the environmental and then regulatory landscape. I'm throwing this concept and model, and probably is not new to you, but I want to be emphasize this three-circle box. And let's focus on the center of the top. Basically, is this supply digital twin. This is what under our control. We had no excuse. We really need to collect more information, understand our manufacturing, the design, and the supply. How do we manage it in the best way? Collaborating with, on your right-hand side lower corner, about this real-world supply data. This is need to be coming from the patient, coming from the clinical center, coming from hospital, coming from the physician, actually first line, dealing with patient. And this information need to be both way. And the important thing, which we probably as an industry still lack of, is on the left-hand side, is exactly how do we have this decision-making room. And for right people put together, multidisciplinarily thinking about things in the whole overall perspective, feedback the system, and it's as a whole loop. And many things are easy to say how to be done is in the center about the cybersecurity and the Internet of Things, how we build this whole infrastructure. For where I can see, being on the biology side and technical side, I think this is the key. This is what we really need to focus on driving for the overall. It's not just on our manufacturing side, thinking about how to deliver. It's not just collaborating and looking at this demand and then how to answer that. It's to truly look at this whole overall, promoting that system, contribute to it very proactively. And of course, as we mentioned about the whole sustainability, to me, the sustainability means we need to minimize the impact of the supply to the patient due to the whole environmental change, as the previous speaker mentioned. At the same time, we also need to minimize the impact we have generated to the environment. So many important perspectives, I'm sure, in this conference we'll have a lot of discussion. I wouldn't be over-elaborate, but definitely we now starting have another dimension to think about when we design the bioprocess. When we look at the biomanufacturing, we need to move towards that. And the demand increase also, I cannot help in this sustainability talking about the talents. If you look at the growing demand in simply just biologics, it's definitely growing all along. At the same time, also the workforce component change. Now we have a robot join us and it's part of it. Let's just embrace that. It's not a fiction, it's not tomorrow, it's today. But other than those hardware data telling us the environmental change and also the increasing demand, I'd like to emphasize about the keyword culture. We can grow the talent only if we emphasize the right culture for engineers. And I point out these three things, as I already said multiple times. The multidisciplinary collaboration, this is not just a collaboration. For each and every one of us need to think about that differently now. Cannot just be our expertise and focus on that. We need to understand a little bit here and there, like a prior speaker mentioned about. At the same time, I fully promote this flexible working style because only when you do that, you can truly recruit the talent, which is beyond today, and truly escalate the whole level about diversity, inclusion, and equity to the level, allow all those multiple different talent, multiple different kind of perspective coming to our workforce. So where do I see the road ahead? Where it's taking us? I know we today going to talk in this conference, the Pharma 4.0. I definitely want to take one step forward to looking at the industry 5.0. Yes, that's where the patient centricity truly being addressed. If you look at the whole scheme about 5.0, from introducing machine, computer, to increase the efficiency, and also today to getting more of the cloud data, introduce the robot. Ultimately, if I use my way to describe the whole 5.0, it's from the sustainability combined with the advocacy and truly bring the whole human centricity into there. Robot is not here to replace human, as we all know, but it definitely can replace many of the tedious or redundant job we do. But the information coming back to us really help us to see what truly human need. So the center of the overlap is Industry 5.0. And what does that mean to the pharma industry? If you found the center looking at the whole Industry 5.0, there are many things. So all of us are going to be very busy working on that. But truly present to us is to be able to bring back this patient centricity. What is truly the patient need? Is that a blockbuster production? Is that a mass production? Is it only those automation we are driving? No, it is actually helping individual patient. Like I say, just thinking about we as an individual. You don't want to take the medicine only benefit for others, and you are just one of those number in the whole population. So we need to drive for truly precision medicine toward that direction, allow this whole collaboration much more bring to the service. So step back looking at the Big Bang. How do we create that? Other than this multidisciplinary, the biology and tech collaboration, I see now the innovation coming to us. I see now we are trying to generate the disruptive technology. I see now also we are going to answer by the agile manufacturing, also the sustainability. The center of it, let's not lose the whole vision about it got to be this novel therapeutics. We cannot live with the today medicine. There are many of the disease still require us to address. And also this got to be very patient-centric. And before I end my talk, I'd like to leave all of you 2 questions. I hope you ask yourself, what's your definition about the excellence in novel therapeutics? I'm sure we should have all different versions. What do you define? What is the excellence? And second question, what would each and one of us do for the coming 1 to 2 years? We'll do that differently when you think about what is the excellence stage. Will you do that, continue doing what you're doing, or not doing something you're supposed to do today, or doing something new you need to do? I hope I leave you these 2 questions for you to think about it, and then we can drive towards really the direction of novel therapeutics. That's truly what patients need. That's truly what we are here for. And then to be able to combine all multiple different kind of talent to drive for that future. With that, I'd like to thank you for your attention.